Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti and William Isley from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to Spanglish World Networks on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and is available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, we are going to continue to unlocking clarity. So, talking a little bit of, of the topic that we have and the title that we have here. So, we want to do something like a little bit different today, and let us know in the comments or in connecting with us. How do you feel about this? But first, how are you, William?
I'm doing well. Doing well. How about
Yeah,
you?
I'm doing well too. It has been interesting with the kids with different things in the last weeks, but everything is fine. And okay, learning from the parenthood. So that's part of the journey also.
Yes, absolutely.
So today we want to talk about clarity, and the first thing that comes to the mind when we are talking about clarity is what is exactly clarity. Clarity, it's about having a light that it's helping you, or what is exactly that what is bringing to you. So when we talk about clarity, what comes to your mind, William?
The first thing that comes to mind is an incredibly clear day that I can see really far on the horizon. Being on top of a mountain or a hilltop or something where I can see clearly for miles.
And at the end, clarity, and if you're hearing here, you can put also in the chat what is exactly clarity for you, and checking a little bit about that. And it's okay if you put that later in any other social media, or if you're just looking in Roku. But really, what we that's something that we do, William and myself, when we are coaching people and helping them to really start to understand what is the path that they want. And we are going to do an exercise today about that, and we are going to role play a little bit with William about clarity, just to help you understand and have some keys that can help you understand what is exactly that we want. So when we are talking about clarity, something that is very important to know is uh, there is a best version of ourselves. We are not all the time we are managing our lives in our best version. For example, a few minutes ago, and even right now, maybe you hear my kid crying around, and suddenly, when we are here, maybe I can get a little bit nervous. Like, I don't want to have that disturbance here. And at the end, it's part of life, and it's part of everything. So, but that can take me out of being my best version. So when you are thinking about your best version, William, what do you see? What do you imagine?
Two different ages in the past, when I was 4 and when I was 19.
Okay, tell us more about that.
When I was 4, I had some interesting energetic spiritual experiences, and that particular person was not welcome in polite society, so to speak. The other 5-year-olds and so forth in school weren't into that, and neither was mom or dad. So I had to hide that person.
Mm.
And then at 19, uh, I had finally come into my space as a leader. And when I went to the military, um, I was doing well as being a leader. And then I got into my first long term relationship And that particular person did not like that leader. So I chose to give myself away and become my not best version.
Mm, that's that's interesting. And what do you think happened after that? What do you remember happened after? Like, okay, now I am deciding not to be that best version that I know I am.
I wish I had been able to see it. It took about a year, year and a half to move from being confident and being who I was to change myself into who this person wanted me to be. And I didn't even realize until maybe 2 years ago when I dug out some notes that I'd kept on that time period, just how subtle and complete the change had become. Didn't even realize it.
Yeah, and that's something. And when you see, and I am not talking about like now, but when you see from the perspective of you are here now and you can see everything that happened later, what how that affect you?
How did that affect me? Ah, it's kind of like striking a bell that rings through time, and I'm still hearing faint echoes from time to time. Fortunately, I was in the military, so they couldn't have all of me. Uh, but it's just not showing up the way I could have. Not showing up in my full strength, my full power, not believing that I was worth anything without this person,
Mm.
not believing that I was able to make any choices without this person. Um, Ask me some more questions, take me farther down the path. I'm not sure that I'm giving sufficiently specific answers.
So let's start to focus a little bit in what you are talking. So what I'm hearing that you are saying is you have started to create like different avatars of yourself or
Yeah,
putting different masks that
yeah.
you can use depending on the situation that you were living. So if you start to see it like that, like, okay, now I have a different mask. I have to use this mask because I believe this is the mask that people is looking for, or my parents, or my friends, or the people around me, or even my partner later in your life. So you are managing and living with that those masks. How exhausting was that? How you were feeling in the process? Because that's sometimes it's like, okay, I have a mask, and this is very good because talking about mask is like, okay, I have something in front of me that I can see clearly. It's like I have this in front of me, and suddenly everything is yellow, and I don't understand what is happening. That can happen with the masks.
It does. Because realistically, what I discovered a year and a half to 2 years ago was that I had built a complete persona
Mm.
to run my life. You want to talk about ultimate AI? Um, I built a complete persona to interact with the world through, uh, because I was taught at an early age that who I was not okay. And so 45 years worth of using this persona to interact with the world. Once in a while, I was able to move the mask aside just a little bit and peek out and interact with certain people as me. Most of the time, that was not okay. So I didn't. It infected all aspects of my life. Um, I, yeah, I was a people pleaser. I was doing things that I thought people wanted to hear, saying things, that, all right, we have three different thoughts coming out at the same time. I was doing and saying and being who I thought people wanted me to be.
Okay. And and this is, again, this is good because at the end we start to create a different version, and sometimes you don't know exactly who you are. It's like, am I this version and this new persona, or I am really who I am? And I know that you have been working for a good time, like remembering who you really are, and that's one of the things that start to happen when you don't have when you start to create a new persona, and you try to create like, okay, let's have the purpose of this new persona. Oh, but this is not me, and even all the purposes that you can find for this persona is not helping you.
Right. It was just interesting. Being in IT for 10 years and computers for 20 years before that, I think in terms of programs, even internal programs, because the brain is an amazing computer. So I learned how to uninstall that persona. And so now everybody gets to deal with William instead of Bill.
Yeah.
I say deal. Most people like William. There are a few people I know that don't like William at all because apparently he's an arrogant asshole. And most of the people that know and like William are like, these people are crazy. We don't see that. So whatever.
So what I'm going to do, and something that when I am teaching and I am helping people, I start to, and this is something that you do also, start to help them to find three words that can represent your best version. So the first thing that I start to do is, there is a big difference if I start asking you right now that you have this mess in your mind, like, okay, am I this persona that I created from 4 years old, from 19 years old, from another time in my life, or am I really William? And that start to become like a mess in the mind. And just to check that quickly, let me show to people here quickly. Let me bring something. So, for example, if I ask you a couple of words that you can start to say, and I'm going to write them just to hear what you say. But for example, the first thing that comes to your mind when I give you a word, just give me that, and we will see the difference when you are not when you start to be relaxed and connected with yourself. So if I ask you for money, give me one word that comes to your mind.
Fear.
Fear. And don't overthink. uh, Freedom.
Mine.
Abundance.
Good.
Clarity.
Eh.
uh, Awareness.
Good.
Lack.
Everywhere.
Fear.
Not real. False.
Okay. Success.
Mine.
Okay, so now close your eyes and breathe deeply a couple of times and connect with yourself and start to move to a place you love to be. Maybe a beach, maybe in the middle of the woods near your place, uh, and start to think that you are walking there and everything is in abundance. Maybe it's very early in the morning and you can hear a lot of birds, you can hear nature, you can feel the sun touching your face, and you are relaxing, you are enjoying, and you feel that everything is in abundance, everything is perfect. You feel that you don't need anything, that you have everything there. And even with your eyes closed, I am going to say the same words again, and tell me what is the first word that comes to your mind. Money,
Everywhere.
freedom,
Mine.
abundance,
Everywhere.
clarity,
Mine.
awareness,
Good.
lack,
Illusion.
fear,
Illusion.
success.
Mine.
So open your eyes, and if you see here, we have, just by connecting with yourself, some words started to change, and the meaning of the words started to change. In one case, in the first one, money was fear, and suddenly now it's everywhere. Abundance was good, and suddenly it's everywhere again. So did you feel the difference inside of you?
Oh, yes.
And that's exactly the first thing that we need to do when we are talking about clarity. We can see clarity through our eyes that we can have in front of you, maybe the persona that we created to survive in the world.
Yeah.
Uh, and really, that will bring you some ideas of what is happening and some programs that you are using. But when you start to connect with yourself, connect with a place that you love, and start to feel that you are in that place, suddenly everything starts to flow and you are really connected.
Yeah.
Uh, any comment with that?
What's really fun is being able to do that with one's eyes open and be connected to themselves and be in flow state.
And that's something that, for example, we teach also. When you are in your genius zone, you are doing that, specifically what you are saying. Uh, and to be in the genius zone, you have to know what you are good at and what you are not good at, and how you can be more of the things that you can do and you love to do, and less of the things that you don't love and that you are not good at. You know, sometimes we have to do things that we are not good at, but focus on having more time in the things that you are good at.
Absolutely.
So, in regards of clarity, today we wanted to give you the example. This is something that you can do for yourself, and that's why we have been talking for several weeks about meditation and how connecting with yourself can change everything. And exactly what William is saying, when you connect with yourself, also with your eyes open, and you start to walk in your genius zone, in your zone of expertise, something starts to happen and you start to flow and start to know the something called the flow state.
Also, for those of us who have ADD, ADHD, it can be called hyperfocus. Only flow state is not hyper-focused, but that's a place to start in thinking about it.
So this is the end of the program. Thank you, everyone, to be hearing to us. Thank you, William, and thank you for this time. See you next week, and please bring your ideas. Start to bring your comments. We are going to start to do a little bit of these changes of like hands-on. Next week, maybe I am the person that is going to be playing here the role play and being vulnerable and being myself inside of the program. So thank you, William, for being so honest here. This show can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you, William. Thank you all.